Hello everyone and welcome on the Papier de Rêve channel. I'm Ursula and today I will be painting with you a bouquet of roses. And this painting is rather a quick one because I was painting just for about 15 minutes. I did accelerate a little bit the video still, but it's fairly slow for once, and I wanted just to paint something quick and something easy, something with fun for me, and that's why what I'm painting right now. I have my subject right in front of me. You cannot see it on the camera because my bucket of roses was a little bit on my right side, but I have my flower just in front of me. So I just want to paint what I see without too much details. I want to give you an impression of my bucket of roses and just have fun with all the colors and shapes I see. I've started my first layer with all warm colors. I'm using Winsor red and Aussie red gold mostly, just because they are both very warm colors, and the Winsor red is just the right hue I want for the roses, and Aussie red gold gives a little bit more a warm light to it, so it's kind of interesting to mix the two together. And as I'm working, my paper is wetter and wetter, and that's exactly what I want, even if I've started with a dry paper. Right now it's the perfect time to place my shapes, my colors in the right place. They will merge a little bit in one another, but everything will be very soft, and that's just what I want for my first layer. It helps me to not get too much in the details, and it's the best first impression that I can get with my first layer. And as you have seen it, I'm able to use some tips and tricks I've learned in my previous video, especially with the sponge, the natural sponge I'm having right now on the right of the video. This sponge helps me to merge color, to pick up color if I want. Everything is very soft when it touches the sponge, and that's exactly what I want here. And I can soften all the colors, but I can also take back colors with the sponge. I just have to really express all the water from it, and then apply it on the paper, and it will suck up all the pigments there is on my paper. I cannot take every pigment back because Winsor red is a little bit staining, but it helps me to get some light, to open some light on the red, and that's very interesting here. And even if everything is very soft right now, you can see the shape emerge from the colors on my paper, thanks to the light I've added with the sponge, but also with the darker color I'm adding right now. And as my paper is still wet, all the dark spot of color I'm painting will flow in the paper and be even softer. So I can shape my shape very slowly, and everything will be very soft. For the darker colors in the roses, I've started by using quinacridone burnt scarlet, which is a red, but a dark red, almost brown, but it wasn't the right hue for the darker color, so I just prefer to mix dark burgundy with Winsor red and cobalt violet. This mix is really the perfect burgundy color for the shadows. And I'm letting this first layer dry, and I will talk you through my supplies. For the brushes, I'm using an Escoda Aquario number 18. And for the color, I'm using Cobalt Violet, Ultramarine Blue, Aussie Red Gold, and Winsor Red. And my paper is from Arches in Rough. As you can see, after my painting has totally dry, all the colors are kind of dull and not popping anymore. So my second layer, and it will be the last too, will be focused on getting the colors back in the painting and adding just the details that I want to make you think about roses when you see the picture, but not too much. Because it's just an impression of roses and I don't want to get too in details. I like how everything is soft on my first layer and I want to keep this freshness still in the second layer. I just want to make the image pop a little bit more. And for that I'm still using Winsor Red. It's a perfect color for the roses I'm painting right now. It's a really bright red and a true red also, and it works beautifully with Cobalt Violet to get darker color without dulling them. And while I'm painting all these little details, I kept watching at my roses just in front of me to see all the shapes, the dark part and the lighter area, and I try to recreate those shapes on my paper without painting a petal here or a petal there. I just want to focus on shapes and colors. And in order to keep the things quite soft, I will blur some edges and make it a little bit more fluid so that there is a little bit more of an impression here and not too much details. And then I will focus myself on the foliage, just because there isn't any foliage right now, and I just want to add an idea of the foliage and just add the right details for you to recognize roses. So I'm focusing myself on the tiny leaves that are at the base of the flowers and some spike on the stem. And that's it. And even if the spikes will disappear in my process, because I will blur them and add foliage on top of the spikes, I know that they are here and they still be there even if they are not visible, I think. And for the green color, I'm using mostly Ultramarine Blue with Aussie Red Gold, but I'm adding sometimes a tiny little bit of Winsor Red to this mix, so that the green is not really vibrant, it's a little bit dull, and it will mix even better with the roses colors. In my bucket of roses, there were also 2 arums in the bucket, and I did want to put them on my painting, but not too detailed, just an idea that there is something else in the flowers and not just roses. So I'm trying here to make them appear, but not too much. This really quick painting was really fun to make, and I want to say that you do not have to paint for hours to feel the benefit of making art. Just 10-15 minutes here and there is enough in a way. So enjoy some quick painting sometimes, it's also fun. And this video is now ending. Thanks for watching and I hope you like it. Please check the blog post for more information about it and tell me what you think in the comments. See you soon.